I'm a big PlayStation 4 gamer, right? I have been now since 2013. I was originally an Xbox dude. Always was Xbox Pro, Xbox everything. Wasn't happy with how Don Matrick ran Microsoft back in 2013. And so when E3 hit and all that drama hit, I made the move over to PS4. And one of the reasons why, too, was I'm a huge fan of the Uncharted game franchise. I love those games, and I've been waiting for there to be a movie for well over a decade. And in fact, I did a video on this a while back talking about all the director problems that they've had since 2000, I think in 12. No, I think maybe 2009. It goes back a long way, but apparently now we're getting closer to the film getting filmed, getting made. And this is actually pretty big news if you think about it. So Tom Holland reveals Uncharted begins shooting in 4 weeks. That's a pretty big deal, because this movie, every time you hear the word Uncharted in a headline here on the internet, it's always followed by a director left, or the movie's been pushed back, or so on and so forth. But anyway, the article here says, actor Tom Holland has really been chatting up about the upcoming Uncharted film adaptation. Earlier this week, he declared that the latest draft of the script is one of the best he had ever read, and now he's giving insight as to when the film begins shooting and which game in the popular video game series truly inspired the film. So he says here, we start shooting in like 4 weeks. Mark Wahlberg is going to be amazing as Sully. The stunt department that we have out there in Berlin has done a great, amazing job already. Prepping the stunts, it's going to be an exciting one. Funny thing about that too, if you don't know, Mark Wahlberg was originally the person who David O. Russell, who was the first director attached to make this movie, wanted to play Nathan Drake. This is coming off of the Oscar win for The Fighter and how critically lauded that movie was. So they wanted to get Mark Wahlberg in there. They wanted to make sure they could have this team up. And everyone is like, Mark Wahlberg? No, get Nathan Fillion, right? Nathan Fillion is GOAT. He totally GOAT when it comes to this particular character. Thankfully, that died. And then, of course, in 2018, we come to find out that that Mark Wahlberg has been cast as Sully, of all people. Really weird to go from the lead to the older mentor supporting role. So that's kind of funny. So apparently they are doing pre-production in Berlin, where they've got a stunt team already working on some of the crazier stunts in the movies. And if you've played the game, the set pieces are really kind of where the action is. And there's always great amongst all 4 games. So it definitely gives you an idea over what's going on. Now, it does go on to talk here a bit about the director problems. It says, for a film that's seeming to be struggling to get off the ground, it's crazy to think that shooting on the project could get started so soon. The film has seen a series of complications, mostly with directors coming on and off the project. Dan Trachtenberg was set to direct, but he left the project due to creative differences. Bumblebee director Travis Knight then came on board, and he left a couple months ago. And then the rumor is that Reuben Fleischer of Zombieland and Venom is going to be stepping in to take over. And there's been no confirmation, no public commentary on that whatsoever, just rumor, speculation, all that jazz. But if they start shooting in 4 weeks, they need a director now, which would be great for someone like, Reuben Fleischer to come on in. He's a studio guy. Now, look, is he the director you want for the job? No, I would like Dan Trachtenberg being a video game journalist and an avid gamer is someone I like to see doing it. Travis Knight did really good on Kubo and the Two Strings. I still think Bumblebee was kind of a mess of a movie, but a lot of that was the narrative structure. The action was pretty good. But I do think that Reuben Fleischer is a better choice than Travis Knight. I like both Zombieland movies. I really like Venom. I liked 30 Minutes or Less, despite it being based on a very horrible, real, tragic event that they just kind of lampooned and mocked with that movie. But then Gangster Squad. I would love to see the unrated cut of that, actually. But anyway, Tom Holland also took the time to reveal which Uncharted video game has been the biggest inspiration. Also via IGN, he says that Uncharted 4: A Thief's End has influenced the direction that they're taking the most, saying, if I'm honest, one of my favorite video games ever is the 4th Uncharted game. Unbelievable, and lots of inspiration from the film has come from that game in particular, and it appears that Holland is going to be playing a young Nathan Drake. And the thing is, so, they keep talking about this movie. Again, I have no freaking idea if it's ever going to happen, but here's what we kind of know. And this is stuff that's been reported, nothing been 100% confirmed. What we know essentially is that they were going to, Travis Knight coming on board, left the project predominantly over the very, very, very quick and fast shooting schedule that they wanted. So Sony's number one property right now is Tom Holland. Let's be realistic. It's the number one property. Their number one talent right now is Tom Holland. Spider-Man is what's going to be bringing in money. And as long as they've got Tom Holland in the MCU and making the Spider-Man movies and they can build a whole universe around him, he is their most prized and valuable asset. Meaning when he wanted to do a movie and they probably went to him and said, okay, what do you want to do? We'll give you a movie, a passion project or something. He probably said Uncharted because he says here, oh, it's one of my favorite games. Number 4 is one of my favorite games. That game came out in May of 2016. They were shooting Spider-Man Homecoming right around that same time. So we can kind of see here how that would have been something that would have heavily influenced him, which is one of the reasons why this new script that they're working with is going to be heavily pulling from Uncharted 4. Now, Uncharted 4 deals a lot with the brother dynamic and how that whole thing, I think Tommy was the brother, and how that whole thing plays out, but it's a lot of flashbacks to when they were younger. And I think we're going to get a bit of that mixed in with the opening of Uncharted 3, which is where Drake met Sullivan. And that kind of mentorship is going to take off, and that's going to kind of set the tone for what's going to come in the future. And I'm wondering if the movie's going to be able to pull in some cash. But anyway, Spider-Man 3 comes out next summer, which means that they need to shoot this movie before they start filming Spider-Man 3. So essentially, Holland here, this is why they're fast-tracking it as much as they're fast-tracking it. They have a very small window to put Holland in this movie, to get it out in March of 2021, because they pulled He-Man and they moved Uncharted into He-Man's release date. And He-Man is now apparently at Netflix, although that is again unconfirmed. So, there's a whole bunch going on here. But Sony, they're trying to accommodate Tom Holland as much as they possibly can because they want to keep him around for a long time, making movies for them, because quite frankly, he's one of the key things making them money right now. And you could argue that it's really just a character of Spider-Man, not so much Iron Man Jr., but a lot of people love Tom Holland and a lot of people love him in the role. And Sony recognizes that talent, having him be the face of Spider-Man, which then could also allow him to come over to the Sony Marvel Cinematic Universe, makes a lot of sense. As I talked about yesterday, I did the car video yesterday, talking about how Tom Rothman wants to expand the Sony Marvel deal past Spider-Man 3. Again, part of that is making sure that Tom Holland is on board and he's happy. Because he loves Marvel, he loves working with Marvel, and making him happy by also giving him another property that he wants to have, another franchise that's his, is just Hollywood 101. But anyway, I leave it to you, your thoughts, your opinions, your commentary. I want to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. I will talk to you guys all later. Do me a solid, hit subscribe, hit like, smash that bell. Check me out on Patreon, patreon.com/Matt Jarbo. It really does help out the channel. $1 a month. What do you got to lose, right? That's like one drink from McDonald's. Not that bad. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys all later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.